tap the screen. Tap the screen means just react or anything. Yeah. If you can hear me, tap the screen. Yeah. It's nice to see you. Welcome back. How are you doing? Not happy, I see. You just look hungry. Are you hungry for knowledge? Not money. Yeah, I'm sure it's not money. You guys don't love money, right? You love knowledge. You just want to talk about books. Yeah. So welcome, guys. Today is going to be an amazing session, and today's on. It's actually Wednesday, 22nd. Yeah. So today I know we'll be having our host. So before I bring him on board, I want to welcome Marion with the icebreakers. So the core team members are here, Marion and Tamara. So you can side chat them if there's something you wanted to ask or any inquiry. So yeah, welcome Marion.
Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. Mnanisikia?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, so today I'll be taking over the icebreaker section, and the main goal of icebreakers is to break the tension before the meeting starts. So today I've chosen the activity that we'll be going through, and I went to the option of would you rather. So I'll be asking questions, and because not everyone can answer at the same time, I need you guys to give the answers in the chat, and please be active. Tuko sawa?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one, okay, I'll be reading as option A and option B, and then you just write your answer as either A or B. So the first one, it's my option A. Would you rather have a ghost group member who turns up on submission day with perfect work, or have an over enthusiastic group member who gets everything wrong? I will repeat. Would you rather have a group member who turns up on submission day with perfect work, or an over enthusiastic group member who gets everything wrong?
I think me I'd go with B for sure.
Same. You can give your answers in the chat, everyone. Okay, for the second one, um, would you rather have Chat GPT answer every simple question with a 5-page dramatic story, or have autocomplete predict the exact opposite of what you want to type every time? Would you rather have Chat GPT answer every simple question with a 5-page dramatic story, or have autocomplete predict the exact opposite of what you want to type every time? I'll go with A.
For sure. Why should we be wasting our energy? Oh, why should we be wasting our energy?
Oh, for the one in the chat saying that they can't see the shared screen, I'm just reading out the answers. I wasn't able to share my screen. I'm just reading out the questions. So I hope you're answered. And then for the third one, I know you guys interact with websites all the time, and then if you want to visit a website, most of them you're asked to what is it, to confirm that you're not a robot, the captcha process. So for this one, the question is, would you rather have 10 rounds of captcha asking you to confirm that you're not a robot, meaning you have to go through the whole process 10 times to either select where you see the bicycle, the bridge, or rather have your password auto expire and log you out every 15 minutes while active in a website? So, una prefer, let's say you want to visit what website? Let's say you want to visit a specific website, and then before you get, you're asked to confirm that you're not a robot 10 times. Or You just enter the website without any issue. But the downside of it is in every, let's say, 5 minutes, you are logged out because your passwords auto expire. Kush, una choose nini?
Hmm. Hey, let me see. Let me see. Auto expire. Okay. So maybe yeah. I think actually then a B option B for the auto expire one. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that one's better. Thinking about security and whatnot. Yeah, I'd pick option B.
option B is okay. Or maybe I can just choose a random person to answer. Is that okay? Let's see. Or maybe our host can answer for us what they prefer.
I would rather the auto capture because I don't like being removed all the time. So I think I'll do that.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this one is off topic, but okay. Would you rather have a stomach rumble loudly in a silent lecture hall or have the lecturer stare directly at you during an awkward silence till someone answers a question? Would you rather have a stomach rumble loudly in a silent lecture hall or have a lecturer stare directly at you during an awkward silence until someone answers? I will choose B because there's no harm. I feel like more the first option is so embarrassing from my end. I'm not sure about you guys.
Marion, why does it feel personal?
No, I feel like stomach rumble is so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I think I don't mind having a staring contest with the lecturer.
Yeah, I wouldn't
What?
mind while my stomach crumbles. It's better that. So yeah, you can just know it's me, but it's not me. So you won't be looking back. Just know it's me,
Ah,
but it's not me.
hivi itakuwa na mimi. Okay, I have a different one. Would you rather have a boss who takes 100% of the credit for your best work, or rather have a team member who publicly blames you for all of their mistakes? I can repeat. Would you rather have a boss who takes 100% of the credit for your best work, or have a team member who publicly blames you for all their mistakes? Okay, I'm not sure. I feel like both of them are just bad.
Yeah, yeah, true, true.
But I prefer B. I prefer B.
Yeah, oh, okay, like being the center of attention and maybe or maybe you can say that yeah, maybe the boss maybe is trying to shape you or polish you. If maybe yeah, if it's just a glimpse, just a glimpse.
Okay, for the next question, I'll just choose randomly. We have Beldin. Beldin. I hope ako active. Okay, I want you to answer for us. The next one is, would you want to pitch a genius tech startup idea but have no investors, or rather pitch a completely useless app that easily raises a lot of funding overnight? Beldin, are you with us? Hey, 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 hey. Let's see. Maybe Kiran can answer for us, if that's okay.
I've seen on the chat building has written A.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
oh, okay. I think,
by the way.
okay, same. I mean, it's not all about the money, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can still keep on asking, Amma.
No, I just wanted to ask on that note for like on startups, I have been seeing a problem. So I really also wanted to ask like, is it when people are building startups, are they really focusing on a problem, or are they genius people who have collectively just come together, formed an idea, and try to put it on the market? So on the funding aspect, it really pains me a lot. So yeah, I've been really trying to wrap my head around it and just try to figure out like how are they looking or how are they viewing the issue. Yeah.
Okay, personally, from experience, the first startup I worked on was from a hackathon. And
Mm-hmm.
when we were there, we were trying to solve a specific problem. For example, to be specific, in that hackathon, we're told to come up with ideas that will help the differently abled people in the society. And
Mm-hmm.
they already had investors. So we were told if your startup project, if it wins, you'll get money, but hatukupata anyways. But kwa hiyo dynamic, we already had investors already. So sijui if they sent the money, we didn't get the money, or I'm not sure. But I feel it differs. There are those who just come up with amazing ideas, they pitch them,
Mm-hmm.
or what do we call it? When you have a great idea and you're told to kind of get ownership of it before someone else.
Copywriter,
Kituka hiyo, but I don't know how it's called. It's like
patent.
watu yeah, patent. I feel
Intellectual
like
property, IP, or
yeah, maybe there are genius people out there who come up with it. I think it's both. I think it's both, but I'm not sure. But from my experience in that event, there were investors already in place, but we didn't get the so-called money. So it was sad. Maybe you
So
guys have a yeah. CG sasa. What do you mean CG? I have another question. I hope you guys are familiar with pixels. Okay, anyways. So would you rather have a 2-second audio delay on every video or movie that you watch, or use a monitor with a single line of dead, I think it was supposed to be dead pixel, running right through the middle of your screen? I can repeat the question. Would you rather have a 2-second audio delay on every video or movie you watch, or use a monitor with a single line of dead pixel running? Deadline. Oh gosh, I hope I'm making sense. Acha nirudie mara ya mwisho. Sorry guys. Would you rather have a 2-second audio delay on every video or movie you watch, or use a monitor with a single line of dead pixel running through the middle of your screen? So Kush. Oh, audio delay. Oh, honestly, I prefer the first option. So CG guys. Delay too. Why though? Why? Mi naeza niuma. I feel like even the fact that kuna for other films you have to like use subtitles and such. I feel like delays siwezani. Unless hakuna mtu anachagua a single line. Kuish. Wewe unachagua gani? Oh, kuna mtu. Uh, okay, okay. Um, let me see if I have more questions. Okay, I have another one. Would you rather sell your tech company for millions, but the downside of it you never have to? Okay, would you rather sell a tech company for millions, but have to retire and never work in tech again, or run a hugely successful tech giant, but have to work 18 hours a day for the rest of your life? I'll go with A. I feel after selling my tech company for millions, there are other hobbies and activities that I can engage in. Oh, Oh, nakaa money oriented, but ni sawa. Ni sawa. B. But 18 hours a day is crazy. Mi sijui, I just think A is better. Let me see if I have more questions. Okay. Reasons zenu zina make sense. Zina make sense, but I think I still prefer A. A still. There's the passion and the love, but I feel like after creating a big company and selling it, it has already paid off. Yeah, a million in shillings. Okay, I didn't specify, but I was picturing like pesa more, pesa more. Watu wa A ndio wanajua. Billion is saying passion and love to do what you adore. Okay, mi sijui che mnaona. Kuna ingine but ni food oriented. Inasema, would you rather have no Wi-Fi for a month or have no food for a week? I think it was supposed to be a month for each. Would you rather have no Wi-Fi for a month or no food for a month? I think I'll go with uh, zinakaa so extreme. I feel like I can go without Wi-Fi for a month. No, ooh. Uh, okay, same. Uh,
There isn't a second resurrection, Collins. There isn't a second resurrection.
I swali nilikuwa zimeshaisha already.
Oh, haina shida. It's okay, Marion. It's okay.
Ni sawa. Thanks for
Sawa.
participating in the little activity.
Thumbs up for Marion, guys. That was amazing. I can see you guys are just thinking about food here. Because no Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi, but food, money, food. Okay. So on to the next agenda. Welcome again, guys. Yeah, feel safe, feel okay, feel warm. So today we are going to be learning about hosting a website using React on AWS Amplify, which is a purposeful built tool with features that lets front-end web and mobile developers quickly build, deploy, and host full-stack applications on AWS. It's just like making work easier. I've seen in now in this era, the front end has been simplified so much that people create websites with today, tomorrow, and even people just they go to businesses, they say I can build a website for you, and they've just gone to Lovable. But actually, it gives people the edge because whenever you want to show evidence of your work, you know you can do it, you have something to pitch for. So I'd like to invite our guest, Mark, who is going to be talking to us about that. And I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy. I'm sure you will enjoy. It's going to be fun. It's about AWS. It's the core reason we are here. It's the core reason we sleep, we wake, we eat. We eat AWS, we sleep AWS, and no, I can't say that other one. Yeah, but yeah. But anyways, welcome, Mark.
Thank you. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me very well? Then we can go on from there. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Caroline, and everyone else. Yeah, thank you for the introduction. Really excited to be here today and just talk about AWS Amplify and all the benefits that you're able to get as a person, as a developer with that. And without further ado, I'll start. I'll introduce myself a bit, then I'll go on. So I'll share my screen. Okay, let me just enable that first. I don't know, someone just raised their hand. I want to enable who's sharing because I'm using two different laptops here. Let's see to share something.
Mark, can I say something?
Yeah, go on, go on, go on. Go this much.
Yeah, so guys, it's a hands-on session. So yeah, as much as some of you don't even have an AWS account, it's okay. But you are learning on the go. So these are the skills you should be writing on that CV you picked up, even though you are not actively participating. Yeah, we are seeing you. I'm watching you. I'm here. But yeah, guys, enjoy. Just have you. I hope you have your charger. Let me connect mine also immediately. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. If possible, if you have your laptop, well and good. If maybe you're not able to kind of follow along for now, the video will be there. You can be able to use it. And yeah, we can always do something else so that you guys can be part of it, part of the presentation, or you can follow along. I'm happy to always come back and just go on. Because AWS Amplify has so many amazing tools. Sorry, what is the share button? Oh, perfect. Yeah. Desktop one. Yes. Uh, Again, hi guys. Welcome to today's session. My name is Mark Lorena. I'm a cloud engineer and innovation expert. That's my bio. I'll just share this on the chat so that you can go through it if you want and all that. Specific things that you don't want to look at here is maybe my blogs that I have written and all that. So you can see my LinkedIn blog, specifically dev, and also my Medium, whereby I talk about anything related to IT and all that stuff. But I'm really passionate about just innovation and all that. My background is in cloud engineering, as I've said, startups specifically, and whereby mostly with startups, you know how it goes. You're nimble, you're fast. You want to be able to focus on the customer as much as you want to focus on the tech, but most of the time you're focusing on the customer and shipping very fast. And we had this problem for a long while whereby every time we wanted to set up, the previous way we used to set up was simple, was a bit harder. Before Amplify was there, we used to use an AWS EC2 instance or maybe an EKS cluster. But I'll talk about the EC2 instance specifically. EC2 instance is like a server, right? Do I have one? I might not have to show you by my AWS account, but it's a server. You go in, it's SSH, it's running on Ubuntu. You set up maybe the Reactor, you set up maybe Nginx from there, then you set up the SSL and all those things. So it's a whole process to be able to do it. Then remember also, you have to put the CI/CD pipeline, so connect that with GitHub, maybe add SSH keys, GitHub Action, and all those things. So it was a whole process to be able to do it, right? And it will take me maybe an hour or two to be able to set up the first server and run it. That's if it's a simple server and I'm not doing as much, but it even take me longer to be able to do it as such. And mostly you'd either do it manually at first just to learn, then over time use Terraform. But what AWS Amplify has done it an amazing job in terms of just constituting that whole thing to just a simple thing. So what we're going to do today, I don't know if you can see this in the better. Yes, it's simple. We'll create like our local environment, right? That's like maybe something like this, which is here. So this is the website that we're going to do. Then push it to GitHub, then add it to AWS Amplify. For this specific thing, I want to concentrate on Amplify specifically and how it works and all those things so that it's easier for you to build. I think building a React app is very simple. It's 2 clicks of a button and all those things. The main reason I want to just talk about this specifically is so that you just understand how to navigate Amplify and why is it important maybe to use it, and also just any other thing, any other questions that you have from that. Maybe another time if we want to go through the what do I call it? Like how to create your AWS account and make sure because there are a few hurdles that you go through. We can do that another time or that. But for this one, we'll just leave because we already have an AWS account. All right. So first, before we do this, the overview that I wanted us to talk about is number one, about AWS Amplify. I've kind of talked about that with CI/CD pipeline. I'll talk about that. Then the main aim here today is to have a dev environment and a production environment, right? And have a custom domain for it. Right? That's the other thing, maybe a custom domain, which is something also that I think also is very important. So a custom domain, the DNS. Those are main things that we're going to talk about here today. If you have any question, I think you can let me, I'll finish up because I know we have limited time. I'll finish up. Then if you have any questions, you can be able to kind of ask at the very end. Awesome. Great. So the first thing normally we do, like in any startup and all that, you buy your domain. Let's call it. So for this one, the domain you're going to use is AWS user group Kenya.org. It's a domain we already have for the AWS user group Kenya. Actually, just to plug in. Okay, you can use any account that you want. So the I&M account. Okay, let me just show you that. Hope you can see my screen. You can create an I&M user or create a root user, whichever one that you want. Let me actually even kill this one specific. Right, I'll kill it later. So you can create a user, maybe let's call it demo jQuat. I just want to show you maybe the user rights that you want to use, right? Provide AWS management console, yes. The reason why for this specific presentation, we're going to use console, we just to understand how it works. Then maybe trying to go towards infrastructure as code, or maybe for instance Terraform or whatever, you can do that. But for this one, we'll use the console, right? Then I have a few user groups. I'll create another group specifically. I want to call it, let me call it Amplify Developer, right? Or let's call it AMP for now. Then I'll find here Amplify. Yes. Yes. So you can have like, for instance, this is Amplify on you. But yes, so Amplify. This one is saying this is full admin, right? So no. Amplify administrative Amplify. Yes, those two, or whichever one. But for this one, instead we'll just use admin because this one overrides the other one. So let me close that one. How do I close? There we go. Yes. So you do that, then create the user group, then attach it to the person, right? So I've created the user group AMP and the group name and the user. Then you can be able to use it, right? I've added it. The username is this. The user group, remember, is I wanted it to be AMP specifically next, then create the user so that they can have access to everything. But for now, because I already have mine as an admin for this specific account, you can use that, right? So depending on the credentials or the rights that you want this person to have, you can be able to do it. But mostly because I'm a full stack developer, I want to access EC2 and all that, I have an admin account. Let me just plug in my other laptop. Just give me a
And
minute.
by the way, Mark,
Yes.
what is this I&M stuff that you've shown us?
Oh, sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, and not I&M, IAM. I really confuse them a lot. So IAM is identity and access management, right? So think about it like this. These are different roles and user rights that you have. Now, for instance, maybe in your house, as let's say Collins, right? So Collins, in your house, maybe you're one bedroom. You are the what? You are the main, you're the root user. You have access to everything and all those things, right? But for instance, if maybe you have like your sister, she's an admin. An admin, what can she be able to do? She can come, she can open the fridge, she can eat, she can do all those things and stuff like that. So she understands her access, right? Then maybe if you have someone who comes to clean and all those things, maybe they can't access your bedroom, or they can't access maybe certain boxes and stuff like that with your valuables. So you've given the specific lady or the gentleman access to just being able to clean and all those things. Once they're done, you clear them off. You make sure like, oh, you've taken your key back and stuff like that. So identity access management is basically a way to be able to manage what a user or even an application can do within your AWS environment, right? So that's why it's called I&M, identity access management. That's the simplest way I could kind of put it. But yeah, hopefully that can explain it, right? So what do you want to do? We have to be able to deploy an app. The first thing actually you want to do, even if you're at a startup and all those things, I'll always tell you before you start doing all those things, you just go find the AWS calculator so that you just understand how does maybe AWS Amplify affect you in terms of money-wise and stuff like that. So always just get the AWS calculator. Let me see. Yeah, yes. So the AWS calculator will tell us how much in terms of cost we're going to have. So I'll click create an estimate, right? For this region, let me see. I've chosen North California as my default. Let me see. Yes. So location types of region is North California. That's the region I'm going to use. Then you'll find the service. So maybe if it's an EC2 instance, you can find the EC2 instance and configure it. If it's an AWS Amplify, we're going to have that there. Just find that Amplify. There. So Amplify, click on it. And this actually, the why I'm doing this and I don't even have a presentation is normally when you're working, you don't have a presentation to go through with this. You are referring to documentation, but mostly have maybe like a diagram that shows you what you're doing. And I'll kind of show you at some point with that. But mostly first, look at what you want to do, the objectives, and secondly, cost, because any other place is about cost. So you can see here they have the different ones that they have 8 GB memory, 2 GB and stuff like that. Then number of bills per minute. So you can see now where they start costing, right? So now, for instance, for number of bills per minute, let's say we are going to have maybe 5 bills not per minute, but per month. Let's do, how many bills do you normally do? Let's say it doesn't have per day. Let's say per day, right? We're gonna be pushing and stuff like that, especially in the dev environment, we'll have about 5 bills per day. Data stored per month, we're not gonna have that per se. Data served per month. I'll give an estimate of maybe 10 GB per month. Number of server-side requests, let's say per minute, let's put 10 and stuff like that. Then yeah, and that's it. So short calculation, we can see how much it's going to cost, right? So number of bills per minute, and this is okay, it's not a lot of bills per se, but that number of server-side 10 minutes, then you find it's $15, right? That we're going to be spending on a monthly basis for an AWS Amplify. And remember, this excludes free tier. Free tier it's even cheaper and it's free for like some time. But because this one I'm beyond free tier and all those things, I'm not going to really do that. That's the first thing that you do. So every time you go, you have any AWS thing that you want to deploy, go to the cost calculator, have a RAST estimate. This one might not be as correct per se in terms of how much you're going to build here, but we'll go back and refer to it and just see how much you're going to spend. And now I know in a month I'll be using $15. All right. The next thing you do, you can come start with a template. That's what I'd say. Okay, I don't have a template here. I wanted to go to the docs server. Sorry. Oh yeah, read the docs. You can come here, go through the documentation. You can see the different full stack apps with the framework you have. So for this one, because it's a static website, it doesn't have like a lot of dynamic stuff and user actions and all those things. So it's just going to be static, but you can build a whole Next.js application on this. I've built an e-commerce platform on this. Because of time, we're not going to go through all that. But if you want, we could be able to do it on another time. Android, Flutter, and Swift. For all these ones, Vue, have I done Vue? I don't remember doing Vue, but I've done JavaScript, React Native also, and Flutter. I've not done Android or Swift yet, right? Those are the two I've not really done, but these are the ones I've been able to do, and it actually works very well. The other frameworks it does is, I think, Astro, and Astro is like one of the really good ones to be able to use. Then it can tell you if it's how to deploy, and all those things and stuff. Anyway, let's get back to it. And if you want to go through this, you can be able to do it. Why it's important to go through this, you get, now it's a bit simpler, but you get a lot of errors and you start wondering what are these errors and why am I going through them? You fall back to the documentation. I've faced the same thing as much. So I'll click deploy app, right? Then I'll use GitHub. So let's go back now to what I have currently. So my app right now, let me see. Yes. So I already have my app running. Let me yeah. Okay. So I have my app running already. I can run it on my local and can be able to see it. NPM run dev. Um, yes. So here it is. It's just a template or this landing page for AWS User Group Kenya, a student-led community and all those things. It has, I think, 2 pages on about join the community. Yes, and about us. How can I hide this? I'm trying to hide Zoom. How do I hide this? Yeah, so this is kind of the app that I have currently, and it's on my local, and also I've pushed to my GitHub. All right. I think that part is not too hard to do. You can be able to just push your uh on your website. Is this the one I have here today? Yes. Okay. Yes. So I have it on my local and also on my GitHub. I see it's pushed other things that I did not want it to push, but it's okay. I'll still delete them from here, then be able to use it as we go on. Yeah, so I'll be able to push then use that. Let me just delete first. I'll stop sharing just for a minute so that I can delete some of the repos that GitHub has pushed specifically because I don't this the materials. Well, okay, just a minute. If you have any questions, you can be able to just ask on the dialogue, and I think that we already answered that one. I think it's good now. Are we good? Let's see. Yes, we're good. Let me share my screen now. Oh, sorry about that. I just had some more other details there. So I'd come here. Where is So I'll click on GitHub specifically. You can deploy without Git if you want. Normally, what you do is you'll be able to like upload and drag and drop it and stuff like that. Let's actually no, try that. Let's do the GitHub one because of time also. So you can also upload it as a zip folder if you want, but because you're using GitHub, I'll click on GitHub, then click on next. It's pretty much click ops, right? You just click a lot and all those things. Then also this is a very important place also in terms of the permissions you want your amplifier to be able to have, right? So I'll click here. So this is the one I'm going to use, Osera Arena, which is now my GitHub profile specifically. Then all repositories, you don't have to do all repositories because number one, can you hear me? Sorry? Okay, great. So you don't want to do all repositories. You want to have the principle of less privilege, right? So this is the one that I have. It's called demo. But if you want to search it, you can be able to still search it and get it and click on it, then install and authorize. So this installs the Amplify app on your GitHub, right, to be able to access it. If let's say you're in an organization setup, you have to be an admin to be able to access, or you have to be an admin to be able to install this app, right? And since it's my repo, I'm the main admin for this. Then remember also we have the main branch. So for the main branch is basically the one that will have production, right? So remember we'll have the main branch, we'll create another one for dev environment and all those things. So let me click on that. Do I have any build commands and stuff like that? I already have that done in terms of it will auto-detect the framework and be able to build and stuff. If you have a specific one, maybe that you want, like maybe NPM, it's a different version of maybe Node.js or maybe React and stuff like that, you can be able to do it. But for me, it's not really per se. Then, yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Let's pray to God it works. So it's creating the React app. As it does that, and I hope it works because of the whatever. We'll go to the next thing, right? The next thing that I want to talk about is not that is Route 53. Route 53 is where our domains are. Now, you don't have you cannot buy a domain from there, right? But you can buy a domain from Namecheap. So my domain, I bought it from Namecheap, not Namecheap, Namecheap. Then you can be able to use it from there. So this is the domain that I have currently. I put this name servers on Namecheap, then I was able to get it. Now from here, I can be able to point this domain to the Amplify application. Okay, so that's the next that we want to do. I hope the app is not failed. Okay, still deploying. Okay, great. So it's deployed already. Actually, that's even very few minutes. Okay. I know what the issue is. It's about the it's where the code is, but we'll be able to fix that a bit later. Then, yeah. So here is where we'll be able to create a record and point with the application, essentially the React application, the domain to the React application. Remember that the React application that you want to do is it on my local. This one specifically is the one that we're going to be doing, but GitHub has since decided to let me down a bit. Let me see. If maybe it's failed or anything, you can be able to come look at the logs and see what's made it fail. So you can say like deployment is here. This one has passed because everything is working, but it doesn't know which specific one to be able to use. And remember also you can see the build environment that we use 8 GB RAM, 4 vCPUs, 128 gigabyte space, which is normally the standard that you have. And if you look at from the cost calculator, that's how much you're spending was $15 thereabout. Yes. So let me just go back to GitHub and change just delete a few of the other repositories so you can be able to go in the right repository. So just give me 1 minute to be able to do that. So yeah, I'll stop sharing my screen so that I can be able to push it, then be able to use it, yeah, because it has some sensitive stuff. Yeah. As I do that, I don't know if there are any questions. Thank you. Yeah, AWS tutorial for beginners. Thank you very much for that. Also, let me see what's up. Let's GitHub part. Right. Any questions as we do this? And also, you can guide me on time because I know you're already past time. We are 2 minutes to time specifically. Yeah. I don't know. Your name here is Numa, but I'm not sure if that's the name. Is that the name?
No, ni mimi. No, jina yangu ni Jokush.
Say like give me like a name I can use for right now.
Enuma,
Yeah,
just say
Numa. Yeah. So you can get me on time also, so that we're not maybe taking too much time for everyone. I don't know if we can
no,
do like
there's no.
another 15 minutes.
Yeah, imagine it's okay. Yeah, there's a bonus time because yeah, we need these nuggets.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Awesome. Anyone who's ever been able to maybe deploy something on AWS. No, deploy on Amplify. I'd want to know maybe from the audience. Anyone? Stanley, maybe you can just talk about what you're able to do at that time, if you don't mind, as I think it's next with my work stuff.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah, hi.
Hi everyone. So I was deploying a company website and I used Amplify for that.
What framework were you using for that one?
I it was just React.
React. Okay, that's awesome. Anyone else? Maybe how was your experience in terms of just deploying it and all those things?
I think I had about 50 attempts and it was very successful. It was very easy to use. Very few hardships, just a few technical issues. I can't actually remember the issues, but it wasn't that hard to use. Yeah,
Okay,
and
yeah.
it deploys within 2 minutes for my scenario. So
Okay. And maybe is there a reason why you used Amplify and nothing else? And not anything.
based on my cost estimate, I saw will be incurring around $2, and that was
Mhm.
very. I was previously using GoDaddy, which was significantly more expensive than uh, the estimate that was given by cost estimate, something like that.
Mm. Okay, okay. Anyone else? Anyone else wants to really? Because for whatever reason, my app has decided not to deploy. Amplify is not showing it for whatever reason. Let me see. Do I have? Uh, okay, great. Awesome. So I have a few other ones that are here that are working. Let's see. Okay, I think what we'll do, I'll use tribefinance.com. I'll just destroy that, then be able to do this. I'll see what the issue is. I've seen the problem. I have seen the problem. I have seen the issue. Yeah, I see the problem. So okay, I have a different one here that's there. This is the one that's built on Amplify. The other one has an issue due to user rights on GitHub. So I can't go through that one, but I'll still go through this one specifically. It's AWS Community Day overview. When was this done? 2025. Oh, yeah. We'll just switch gears a bit and use this specific one instead of the other one that I was using, if you don't mind. Sorry about that, because GitHub has decided not to give me the permissions to be able to do it. What I'll do, I will come here and I want to delete the custom domain, then show you how GitHub works and all those things. So I want to just tear it apart, actually. Or actually create new app. Yeah. Let me create a new app, then be able to just still show you. So GitHub still, but I'll use a different one because demo has I pushed code that should not have been pushed. So you'll not be able to, can't be run otherwise. So here it is. So AWS Community Day is still also on React, right? The GitHub permission, I think we already talked about it. It's main and all that. Then we'll be able to use it. So let's click next for this. See how we deploy. So this is just another AWS app specifically to just like the one I had pushed. I think I don't know when I pushed this. Yeah, I pushed it I think a month ago. So I'm repushing it. Then we'll still do the custom domain, do the production, and all those things. Yeah. So they're deployed. Uh, Hi Kieran, thanks. Meanwhile, can you please share the official YouTube channel? I think the tech lead can be able to share that. Yeah, the YouTube. I think Enuma is gonna share that over time. Hi Kieran. Okay, so it's deploying, Hopefully this one does not fail. Huh. Yeah, no wonder, actually, one red flag. That one deployed so fast. I was really curious to know, hey, Kwani, how good is this code? Right? So that one deployed very fast. So if you want to be able to see and know like the deployment, how it's working, because it has to do a build, then do a deployment. Let's click on it. So you can see the build happened, the deployment has happened. You can be able to see all those things. So it has to build again and be able to deploy it. So let's go back to it. Let's click on it and just cross. Yeah, this one works. The other one has some GitHub markers that I can't use. It has a private repo. Yeah. So this one works currently, right? If you want, also you can access it from here. Let me just share the thing. You can access it from there. But now with people, you can't be able to just give them, hey, get this link and use it, right? You want to be able to have a custom domain that works and all that stuff. Oh, that's me. Yes. So what you do from there, you can click add custom domain, enable firewall, and connect a new branch, right? So to connect a new branch, normally if you have production and development environment, right? So you can have another branch to be able to do that, right? And the important thing about this and why you need a dev branch, because sometimes a dev branch actually, once you create it, it costs money, but the good thing is it does not one, confuse your customers. If someone is maybe doing something, you've deployed something new, the changes are there and all those things. You always want to have the separate ones and be able to work. And then the kind of encompass that in the software development cycle, Amplify has kind of shown that. So I'll click add custom domain. Remember my domain, my domain was in name cheap. I bought it from there. It's really cheap. You can also buy it if it's at .ack. You can buy it from maybe Africa, AfriHost, or which are the ones that are there? Do you know any really good ones? I know Africa. The one I use. What can I call it? Host Africa, sorry. No, they're Host Africa rather. Host Africa, you can get like really cool. They should pay me for this. You can get like really good domains. Namecheap also. Namecheap. Also, you get cheap domains and stuff like that at a very good price. Then you can be able to transfer them from .53 to that. I don't know what you guys use to buy your domains. Anyone? If you have a TrueHost. Well, I've used TrueHost mostly for not presentation, for hosting. I've never bought a domain there. Is it that good, Duncan?
Okay, it's fairly priced.
It's fairly priced, eh? Okay, I'll try that. GoDaddy is very expensive. You only have to open a person. I'll be very honest. But it's really still really good also. And GoDaddy also is very robust in terms of support and stuff like that, same as Namecheap, right? So I use Namecheap myself and I moved it. So being able to move it, for instance, I'm logged in Cloudflare. Oh yeah. Also, yeah, Cloudflare also does have. I try and use Cloudflare actually. I need to try that and see how it works. I mostly use Cloudflare for security and maybe hosting a bit, but I've never really bought a domain. But if you want to buy a domain, and mostly for people who haven't done this before, go to those places that I've mentioned. Hosting also is really good. There's a place where you put name servers. So I'll give you an example. Why it's good to use this one. You can still use your preferred provider, but the reason why Namecheap is good is you can be able to integrate. It integrates amazingly well with AWS. Services. So I mostly move most of them, unless maybe the client has already previously had stuff you can be able to use. So you come here, you create a domain. For instance, let's call this one XYZ. Which domain do I have? XYZ.co. Then publicly hosted, privately hosted, if depending on what you want. Then you create hosted zone, right? I'll delete this later. I don't own this domain. So you come, you copy this name servers, then you add them to the other one, right? But for this one, because we already have the one that we're using, we use that. Great. So add domain. So I have you guys will know my different domains. Anyway, so we'll use this one, AWS usergroup.org. Remember, that's the domain that I had transferred from Namecheap specifically. Then it will tell me where it's hosted. This domain has been hosted on .53. There's another one. I want to see if it can tell me where it's posted. What did I find? What's the name of that domain? What's the name? But, I'm trying to remember so that I will try and see if it's hosted here. It'll detect on its own. Okay, I guess I have to check. Huh? You can also see my other screen. I do want you guys to see this the domains I have. Let me guess. Let me remember. So I can remember it. I'm very sure I can remember it. It's yeah, it probably runs on cloud. It probably runs on cloud.co, right? So it will check the domain availability and stuff like that. Let's see if it'll do that. Yeah. So you can, domain is available for purchase. Domain is .com, but the domain should not be available for purchase now. Oh, so you can actually buy domains on Route 53. That's new. I did not know people buy domains for that. I don't have money for that. I don't have a budget for that. Uh, that much, $16 and stuff. So you could buy it from here, but the one I have is different. It probably runs on cloud. I've written it to buy. I've written my own things, but yeah, you can be able to still use that. So it will detect. Let me delete that. Yeah, we like to know something you can actually buy stuff from there. That's pretty cool. Does anyone buy from? Does anyone buy? Yeah, if static GitHub pages will do. But I can talk about why it's better maybe to use Amplify instead of static pages and stuff like that. Yeah, but at the very end. So I'll be able to use this to configure domain. So there are two things here that you can have. And that's the benefit of transferring a domain from another domain name service to this one. So you can have AWS usergroup.org domain and all that stuff, right? Or you can have a set up a redirect from HTTP to AWS to www and stuff like that. If you're an SEO person, search engine optimization, it's debatable and stuff like that. But because of that, we're not going to do that. Then also Amplify Manage Certificate. This is also a really good one. Amplify will manage your SSL certificate. SSL is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS that you're able to use. And HTTPS means your communication between your browser and the app is secure and it's well, and also it's managed essentially, and it's encrypted. The reason why Amplify's managed certificate is really good is because you don't have to come and renew all the time or have a cron job to do all those things. It does it on its own, and it's always manager or secure. So you click on that and you'll be able to do it. So as it does that, I'll also talk about a few things about what Amplify can be able to do. If you're doing, as I've said, like a server-side SSR application, it does it very well. You can have like even 1,000 people built on top of Amplify and it runs quite well. If you look at the documentation, actually, it will tell you some of the, what does it not? I think it definitely does. Yes, here it is. So you can see some of the people who are using Amplify. I don't know Upbeat themselves, but I know Amazon Music. They have thousands and thousands of customers. Which is the other one? Immediately also does that. Which other one that's in that was doing quite well? Let's see the other customers that are also surprised that are using that. Remember, I'm just waiting for this one to finish. So it's creating the SSL first, then configuring the subdomains and domain activation. So it's a whole process that's being able to do. The reason why also it's important to use Route 53, or it's not important really, but preferable, is you don't have to start putting in different records, DNS records, to be able to activate it and prove ownership. AWS does everything for you. If we had time, I could do like the other one, whereby you have to copy paste and do all those things and all that. But I think time is we're in past time. Past time extension, we're not able to do it. But also, it still does that. So yeah, let's go back here and see what guys are able to do. with AWS Amplify. I don't know, I think I've lost it. Huh? I've lost the specific documentation on the people. Anyway, maybe to ask the audience on the apps that you'll be able to build. One of the apps I've built or hosted on Amplify specifically is a whole payroll solution, right? Fintech. And it had like over 1,000 people logging in at the same time. It was a web app. Over 1,000 people are able to log in at the same time. We never had any denial of service attacks, which we had before when you're using EC2 and all those things. They don't have to restart it and do all those things and all that. So anyone who wants to kind of just share what the app they built and hosted on Amplify, what it was doing, and yeah, just to see the possibilities that are there. Anyone who's willing to do that as I see if it's working, it's available. Before I could choose someone, I think someone had mentioned her. Let's see. Yes, Jacob. I don't know what app are you deploying on Amplify specifically? What was it about? What was it doing?
Hello, Mark.
Yeah,
I hope you are doing great.
I'm doing
So
well.
the app that I deployed on AWS Amplify was basically a simple portfolio, my portfolio.
Okay. Did it
Yeah.
have anything? Was it a static app or it was pretty much static? Yeah.
Uh, think it was just a static.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Again, also I'll talk about what had been built previously. It was a fintech solution. Someone can log in, be able to use it, and the Amplify app was talking to a backend application running on EC2 instance on Docker containers and stuff like that. Then also a database, right? So Amplify can also be able to just build the whole thing. If it's full stack, everything, all the logic is there and all that stuff. It also can do that. It's mostly stateless, so it does not hold any data, which is also really good. So that if anything happens, your data is always safe, and it forces you to have your data in a separate place. But maybe an EC2 instance, it tricks you. It tells you, I can also set up my database here. Especially if it's a project, I understand you can be able to do it. But if it's like client information and it's client data, never put it in the same server. Like just it's cheap and all that, but just don't do it, right? But so Amplify is able to force you to be able to separate it. Then now I think I was mentioning about if maybe you have it on a different place, you could come. Oh, sorry. I don't know what has just happened there. Let me black. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes, I just want to see that doing Linux records. Yes. So if maybe you have it on maybe GoDaddy or any other place. Sadly, I don't have a demo GoDaddy or Namecheap account, so I cannot show you that. You come and take this different records, like a CNAME record, add it there to be able to validate. Then afterwards, you can be able to add this subdomain record. So this one is like the root at. Then you point it to AWS CloudFront not AWS, but CloudFront.net as the A name, which is the root, then the C name here. So you find like for most other domains, you can't do this. You can never add the root, the pinnacle, or the topmost of your domain with an A name. It's normally an IP or something else. So you only have the www and stuff like that. So that's the beauty about Root 53 or other advanced domain name services already have that there, so you can be able to do it. So this is why it's really important not important, but it's preferable to be able to use this. So domain activation is taking a bit of time. Why it's taking time? It has to activate because it's using content delivery network, which is CDN, Amazon CDN, or CloudFront rather, Amazon CloudFront, which is now the CDN that Amazon uses. A CDN is a content delivery network. It caches different content in different regions and stuff like that. Now, for instance, in Kenya, there's a CDN, in South Africa, in Rwanda, and other places. So it makes your website faster. That's also the other benefit of AWS Amplify. It's able to cache and make your app very fast. You'll see that you'd actually notice the difference between an app that is served on maybe a droplet or an EC2 instance of an AWS Amplify. Unless you have an instance and also you've set up like a load balancer, caching, and all those things, which is the whole process unto itself. So CloudFront kind of does it very fast for you. The other thing that I could actually mention as it builds, oh, actually, you can put some secrets. So for secrets, maybe you have a database and stuff like that. You can put the variable, put the DNI and all that. And if it's for all branches, if it's for a different branch, maybe for instance, dev and all that, because they're different, you can be able to add that there. The other one, let me see. Also, sorry, environment variables also, if you want, specifically actually environment variables, the one I'll just talk about, you can put like custom image that you wanted and all those things. So you can be able to do that. Build settings. So for build settings is, now for instance, if you're using, like the different companies have different policies. Maybe for instance, if you want to use a specific library, so it does not install, Amplify does not build on that library or uses maybe a fast version of Node.js, you can be able to add it here and also be able to tell it expressly what you want in terms of the build that you want. The other important thing here is build notifications. So build notifications is also really cool. Maybe for instance, you want to know when the build come out, it's successful or it has failed, right? So you don't have to come here to the console a lot and do all those things. You can have build notification. So it sends an email to you and says, "Hi, Mark, your build has failed or your build has failed," and stuff like that. So for instance, here I'd put Orina. What's my email? Orina Mark. Gmail.com. Gmail. Then I'd say maybe if it's the main one, tell me. If it's maybe development, don't tell me or send it to Slack and stuff like that. You can also be able to do this. Enter valid email address. That's my email address. Oh, sorry. Yeah. There you go. Then I could save. It will send an email to me to be able to accept it. Then it will send me the build notifications if I need. So confirm the email sent and all that stuff. I'll do that later. Let's look at finished custom. Custom domain. It's still taking time. Then what we could do next, we could create the dev environment. We could create the dev environment because this one will take a bit of time. I actually thought it would be faster, but yeah, it'll take a bit of time. Yeah. I could talk about some of the metrics that you have if you wanted to have like metrics in terms of performance of your application. I think you guys have forgetting your name, my apologies. Sorry. Oh, thank you. So it does caching at the edge locations, right? Yes, it does. It does. And it's actually quite fast. Like, especially if you have like worldwide customers, I tell you just go with Amplify so that you're more stressed about the backend rather than the other. So here you can be able to see the number of requests that you have. Because remember, if you go back to our calculator, where is our calculator? It's our calculator myself. Yes, if you look at our calculator, they charge you for these things. So those are the gotchas for AWS Amplify. They charge you for number of builds. So if you're building a lot, building, just know at some point you'll reach your free tier, then start being charged. That's one thing. Just know about that. Then also data served per month. Also, that's also very important. If they do charge you for this, I'm not quite sure how they charge it, and maybe we could do like a follow-up. Then you can be able to, I can tell you how much they charge and all those things. I'll go through the data that I have, then be able to do it. Then duration for each request and stuff like that. So remember, those things are also charged. So if you want to go and just measure them and have them, you can have it here. Then have maybe like alarms. If my metric has gone past this amount, please alert me so that I can destroy that amplifier and stuff like that. Yeah. Still activating. I think also because we're where we are, it takes a bit of time, but hey, with domain names, you have to kind of give it time as we do that. Any other question that you don't? There's also rewrites and redirects if you wanted, maybe, for instance, if someone hits maybe like a wrong page, unless you've like not a wrong page, but a wrong URL, and you want to have like a specific 301 or 2 or whatever, you can be able to have it here, and all the other errors that you have. Or also you could handle it within your application on its own. Which other important thing that I want to talk about with Amplify? Yes, you could also have like a sandbox. For instance, do I have? This is my this is not my main one, but you can be able to have like a sandbox. That's just like development environment that you want. Once I create them, you can be able to see them here. I think we'll be able to create it. Which other one? Actually, I could talk about this one. It's called Kaya. Kaya is one of the startups I'm working on currently. It's actually a static app and it's built on an S3 bucket, right? Yeah, it's built on an S3 bucket. I'll try and show you that. It's hosted on S3 bucket. Then I'm pretty much using the CDN to be able to do it. So let me click on the S3 bucket and show you as we wait for the custom domain to kind of activate. Sorry, islands. Yes. Yes. So you can see this is purely HTML, CSS, right? So once I posted it here, and I wanted to use CDN specifically and also just have a custom domain. Here it is, right? So nowadays, if you're hosting like your website also on S3 bucket, it kind of passes through AWS Amplify to be able to kind of render, deploy it, and also use a CDN. That's also an interesting thing. Previously, you did not have that. You were just using AWS S3 and also Amazon CloudFront. That's pretty much it. But nowadays, it's also, yeah. You could actually tell by this specifically that let's say logo or something. Yeah. And so let's I'll try that out. I rarely check my console, so I'm discovering things as we go because I'm mostly on terminal. The domain is taking a bit of time. Is there any question? Yes. Actually, I need to show you that. Let this finish, then I'll show you that. But it does auto deploy from GitHub. I don't want to show you that whole process of doing it. The domain is taking forever and a day to be able to deploy. But I really wanted to show you the domain and why it's, that's the production environment. So production takes a bit of time also to be able to do it. Someone will be asking you, have you deployed? You've deployed, but yeah, this will take a bit of time, right? Oh, it could take up to 30 minutes. Okay, guys, we can't do 30 minutes. I'll do another one. You've seen the domain. I'll create another app, right? As this one activates, then you can be able to push, right? So I just create another app. Remember, also, I need to note and delete all these ones because each of them will become $15, $15, $15. So that one is activating. I'll tell you there's a different repo. Actually, yeah. Let me see if I can do that from here instead of. Yeah, so I'll create a branch. Yeah, instead of creating another app, I'll just create a branch and show you how that works, which is part of what I'm doing. Yeah. So let me go back to my. I just stop sharing my screen a bit so I can access the different repos I have. There's some that are a bit sensitive, so I wouldn't want to share them in this no public platform. For the repos. So here's this one. Does it have a branch? No. Yeah, so I'll use this one. This is the one that I currently have. And this is the community day website that I forked from what Moracha was working on. So I want to create like a new branch, then be able to use it. I'll create a new branch. Let's call it what? Dev? The dev branch. Yeah? Let's create dev branch. It comes from main. Yes, so there we go. So I've created a dev branch. Yeah, sorry, I suffer from having too many tabs open. I apologize. I apologize for that. Yeah, here we go. Awesome. So it's detected the other branch that is there, add branch. Yeah, so we'll have one amplifier, but a different branch of creating it. So it's creating a new sandbox essentially, and we'll be able to use it from here. Then from here, we'll be able to tell if I make any changes from it, it will be able to tell me. Let me just look at this code specifically and see what changes we can make that are fast and whatever. It's what about sections. This is the one. It's taking a bit of time, but let's see also if our custom domain has actually perfect. 30 minutes. I think they said 30 minutes, so let's not. Yeah. So I'll make a change on it, then we'll see if it will work. So I'll change this to AWS Community Day 2027. So remember, we have two apps right now. There's this first one, which is our main branch, and this is the other one, right? That is already there. So auto builds. So let me change something, then be able to do it. So I'll again pause my screen a bit because there's some sensitive things, then I'll be able to come back. Just give me a minute. It's like a commercial break a bit. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, you can just ask me, then we can go on from there. Okay. Any questions? Sorry. Apologies. Let's see. Pricing. Okay, we'll just go back to pricing. I've just made a change. I think I've made a change. Let's see if it will work. Then I'll come to your question in just something. Let me just close this also. Apologies again for that. Let me see if I'm to this. So I haven't heard about pricing for each time. That's been postponed. How is it again? All right, just give me a minute, then I think we'll go through that. I'm not quite sure how much, because I don't use like production data to do this, but yeah, they do. It does have a cost to it. I've pushed to the main instead of whatever. Jesus Christ. Let me do that again. I'll just do it from here. So I want to change something here from 2026 to 2027. So let me just do that again. I push to main instead of the other one. So let me do that again. Control find. I don't have the code on this work laptop, so I'll have to do it from here. From the repo itself. This is 2026, yeah. I yeah, true. True. Using light mode is crazy. But I have two laptops. So if you see there's this one where I'm talking, then there's another one I'm looking at this other end. So I have two different laptops I use. My primary is the other one. This one is more of a work laptop than anything. So yeah. But it's not that crazy though, is it? Hey, sour. Hey, many judges. Okay, so I've made a change. Let's see if it actually works. This one also. Yeah, so this one is changed to 27 already. Yeah, this one is also making the change. Yeah, so I think it's deployed. I wanted to make like an error also, but yeah, so it's deployed. So I'll push it from GitHub actually specifically to that, but mostly you'd use again from what? From your no, it's not. Thank you, Brian. But yeah, you can do it from your local, right? So again, I've made the change. It's 2027. Then also, I think our domain has worked. Yes, perfect. It's worked. So if you look at AWS, Zoom is a bit distracting. Yeah. So if you look at AWS user group Kenya, let me just show it on here. Where is the chat here? I can't find the chat. Let me see. It's hard to use. I can't find the chat for whatever reason. Let me just stop sharing a bit then. Yeah, okay, here it is. So that one is our production, right? Then our dev environment is this one. Okay, so those are the two that we have currently. Share my screen. Okay, great. Now, normally, once we've done this, so we've been able to deploy the app from, okay, not really from our local, but from our GitHub all the way to Amplify and have a CI/CD pipeline that is working with that. Then also we have our main and dev, right? We connected the different branches. If you want another branch again, you can add it and stuff like that. Then also, for most companies, what they do is you can add another custom domain. So for this one, no, sorry, not another one, but a subdomain rather. Uh, So let's say if you want like your dev environment to be dev dot maybe what do you want to call it? Dev dot AWS user group dot like this one. This one. Yeah, we could put it maybe to be dev.aws user group and stuff like that. You can be able to do it and stuff. But because of time also, I want to kind of touch on that. We could just try and do it, then maybe activation will not wait for the activation patch to run all the way. So click that, then branch settings. I have the branch general. I think I have one app. How many apps do I have right now? This. Then main console. I want to also have the dev environment to have a domain. So let me just see where that one works. Yeah, there it is. I don't know the domain configuration. Actually, already did. Any question? Oh, no. The question. But I want to add this one specifically to also have a custom domain. That's the one I'm looking for. Just copy this. Okay, so then come here to custom domains. I'll just say add a domain, then put dev dot that. Remember what we want to do with this bigger domain. We want it to point to no. You want it to point to the dev branch, right? So that's also if your culture is to staging, branch, and stuff like that, you can have it and do that. Then have it as this. So dev dot AWS user group does that will point to the dev branch. Then I click add domain. Then you go through the whole cycle again of creating SSL and doing all those things and stuff. So yes, so those are really good questions that asked, and about why not use GitHub Pages, right? Instead of maybe using AWS Amplify. One of the first things about this, because GitHub Pages is free, and I'll never argue with free. Free works well and does the job, right? But the challenge is if maybe if it's something it's a production level and it's maybe being served at different places, some people will start experiencing the lag or maybe some of the visual content, right? Like images and stuff like that. Unless you really optimize them, it will take a bit of time to load and stuff like that. So that's one thing that AWS Amplify kind of really helps you with. The other thing that I realized, this one might be finishing very fast. The other thing that I realized about AWS Amplify is you're able to now even know like for instance, the different metrics that you have, right? So as an engineer, as a business, you always want to measure the metrics that you have. Now with GitHub Pages, you can be able to maybe measure how many users using GitHub Analytics or maybe Posthog or whichever analytics tool that you have and all that. But you will not measure on the infrastructure level. You'll measure it from the app layer, like on the code and stuff like that. But Amplify, you're able to measure it in that sense and be able to really understand what's going on with the app, what really happened and stuff like that. But Amplify does abstract some things in terms of, for instance, because with platform as a service or serverless. There's some things that are abstracted from you, so you don't understand, but still they've really tried to use the different metrics that they have to be able to access that, right? And yeah, I don't know if there are any other question. Or social for joining the WhatsApp group. Okay, I think they've shared all those things there. This one will take a bit of time to be able to do. Yeah, maybe on the next time if we are to do this again, I would say we do like do an AWS Amplify application, have a database, maybe like AppSync, then have like a database, do a whole 3-tier application from start to end. By that time I'll just use the other laptop. This one clearly has a bit of issues, especially when I push new code. And yeah, we could also do like enable the firewall and see maybe, for instance, you want to block certain people, there's some IP addresses you want to block and stuff like that. It's really, really good. Was, for instance, yes, you can. I think when you say zero trust architecture, what do you mean, Colin? Do you mind expounding on that as we close up? You can unmute and ask a question if you don't mind.
Okay, I will talk about a zero trust architecture. I'm saying that all the users in the app, they can access the app, but they cannot access the secrets of the app.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Even when the senior people in the app, let's say the devs, they can access certain parts of the app. The senior dev can access more parts of the app. That's what I'm talking about.
Or like, okay, so when you say like the app, so different features of the app and stuff, so you can restrict and say this person can access this part of the app, this one cannot access this part of the app, and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
and then when you're restricting, how are you restricting? Is it like you have to authenticate and stuff like that, or?
Yeah. In some parts, maybe you're restricted. You can't go to that part.
Maybe to understand, is it you don't want to do that on the code layer? You want to do it like, or certain features specific, or is it just the app? Maybe understand
The app.
the app itself.
Yeah.
Why not have like different like roles and stuff like that, so that maybe
I don't. I was just asking a question.
okay. So how I know you could be able to do this and maybe restrict certain things like on an Amplify app and stuff like that. This one specifically is like maybe this app is only for C-suite. Like it's not features or anything parts of the app. It's just that this app maybe it's called what bonus app. So the only people who need to even know this app exists are the C-suite people. No one else will know that app exists, right? So you can be able to do that. You could do it maybe, for instance, because I'm looking at that and I'm seeing like either you could just have a private URL, then it's only authenticated via single sign-on or maybe your email and password, or you could also have it in a sense of only within a certain VPN they can be able to access it, right? But mostly with that, I'll give you an example. That on what we'll do, I'll stop recording, then I'll show you what I'm talking about and having the role-based stuff like that. Because that part, I don't want to record that part specifically for that. But I'll show you how different organizations are able to do it in different places. Yeah. So that's what I can't show you because it's a work thing. So I can't really show you that. So for instance, if you want to like restrict access to the Amplify app, maybe enable Amplify. Then enable IP protection, you can put the IPs. Restricting the amplifier, I'm not quite sure because I haven't used this personally, but I know you can also restrict to who can be able to access the amplifier itself. So that not only the link can be able to access it and stuff like that. I don't know if that's what you're mentioning, but I'll show you something else that is more role-based and people, maybe HR can see this, is the owner and stuff like that. So it has that, you can deny this. This is also very critical in terms of countries and this. And once I saw they added this firewall, I was really happy, and it's easy to use, but it's pricey though. You can see how much it charges. Huh? So it charges you like WAF will charge you an estimated $6 per month, prorated hourly. Okay. Then $1 for every 1,000,000 requests per month. So it adds more. It's not expensive, but it still charges, and it adds up over time. Trust me. Now, this one, I'll give you an example. We had the use case we had was there's a finance app that we're using currently. And with that finance app, we started realizing it's specifically used for people in Kenya. You don't need to be somewhere else in other places and stuff. But we know also Kenyans travel, so you don't want to also restrict them from accessing the favorite app they have. But we realized that we're getting a lot of requests from unwanted countries that we do not want to use, right? I would mention the countries that are there. I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I don't know. I don't want to be controversial, but there's certain, especially East, is it East European, those places. There's some places where if you just see those IPs, just know you're being crawled. It's not a human or anything, they're just trying to find you and stuff. So you can come and block those IPs here. So you can block, for instance, if I want to block an IP from maybe, for example, Madagascar, I can Madagascar. I can block those and stuff like that. And also, maybe if it's specifically just within certain IPs, me, I want, let me delete this. I want to allow these specific countries. I'd be able to allow those countries. Maybe if it's IP addresses that I want IP address protection, I can say the only IPs I want to be able to access this within this VPN, I can add and how about that, right? Now, for instance, I think something that you had mentioned, Collins, if maybe, for instance, I only want this application to be accessed by C-suite in the office. When you go to the house, you can never access it. You can have that IP there. So for instance, this one is allow. So I'll allow the IP that I want. I know like for work is, I can tell you, but let's say it's 126.28. I can add it and say, this app is the only one that can, sorry. This specific IP is the only one that can be able to maybe access it. Okay, it's IP4. Okay, but you get the point because you're thinking it knows which IP address it is. So you can put that IP block and have them access this app only them. Now, for instance, at our workplace, we have different VPNs. So we know like C-suite, this is the these are the devices, this is the IP, maybe HR and stuff like that. So we can be able to restrict in that sense, right? So you can restrict on the network layer or whatever, but Amplify helps you do this. And the thing is, maybe that's the danger of Amplify is it abstracts so many things that you realize this thing is simple, but it's not as simple because before being able to do that was hard. So you can see dev at user group is there. And so anyone who can guess how much we spent will be able to do this. Like, remember, Amplify was $15. I think I've created how many amplifiers? I've created two. It's around $30 thereabout. Yeah, I've already given you the answer. So I'll come here and I'll delete. Oh, actually, the last part I wanted to show you here is you can click on AWS User Group Kenya. So this is the domain that you have. You can see the things that have been created, not the things, but rather the DNS record that have been created. So you can see www is pointing to this, it's all the things that are pointing to where. You can see them that have been created on our domain name service. And Amplify does this automatically, especially if it's on Route 53. So it does it automatically, but if it's on Namecheap, you have to do a few things and stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I want to delete everything. Any questions before I delete? No questions. No. Yeah, so you can be able to do it, but it's not specifically in Amplify. You'll have to like maybe use is it AWS Cognito and something. I've not done this before, I'll be honest. But you can be able to use it. Is it Cognito? I think Cognito does that, or yeah, there's one that is able to do it, but I don't think Amplify does that out of it. I'll actually do more research on this and we could do like a follow-up and you can go through that part. All right. Awesome. So let me delete the delete app. So I'm going to delete everything. Yeah, part of the reason why I just wanted to show you this is I've struggled with I just want to simulate like a production environment. Yeah, I've deleted the previous one. So now I deleted. Let me see. Yeah, I've deleted the right one. Yeah. So I've deleted it. I'll also come here and clear all the records that are there. Right? The reason why I want to clear them is I don't want them to remain there. Then when someone else wants to start deploying it, it brings errors and stuff. So I'll come here. I'll click delete records. Yeah. So also if maybe you're deleting it and can be signed, also if you have strict policies, you go back to GitHub also, you delete the Amplify app that connects the two and stuff like that. Yeah. So I've deleted those and yeah, that's pretty much that. Any other thing I wanted to talk about, yeah, is custom domain to dev SED and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'd ask you guys to be able to just go try it out and see how AWS Amplify works. It's a bit messy at first in terms of just understanding how it works and certain things. And as you've seen, also, I had a problem with GitHub that I have to fix it at a later time. But with just production environments and all those things, you just have to be patient, read through the docs, and just learn from there. Yeah. The other part I think I'd want to add for you guys. Always look at the cost calculator. Amplify is easy to use. It's amazing, but also always refer to the cost calculator so that you're able to understand how to calculate and understand how much it costs. Right now, my AWS costs, I don't know if they've spiked, but I'm always checking. Have an alarm and all that stuff then so that you can have it. If you guys are okay, we can close that. I'm happy to do like another demo because now I'm more into demos than maybe presentations, so it's easier for you to understand. You could do a demo either on how to create a AWS account, and maybe if you have a problem, you could diagnose. Take a bit longer to be able to do, but you can go through case by case and understand how to be able to create an AWS account, have your either your credit card or your debit card there, and how to be able to just push on with it and stuff like that. Especially, I love that the fact that you mentioned you guys are startup founders. That's really cool. I'm also a startup founder, and I'm always trying to see how I can leverage AWS. It's quite expensive, but how can I leverage AWS, all the resources from Amplify and all that, but also be able to leverage the credits and stuff like that. So I'm always happy to sit down with you guys and just do like a clinic on the AWS account, the alarms you put up and stuff like that. But you should do the Amplify one, do maybe one with Amplify and the domains on Namecheap or maybe on TruePost and stuff like that so that you can do what to do. So yeah, so thank you very much for this. Sorry, I think I've talked a bit too much. Over to you. Yeah, I'm interested in Enuma. Over to you.
When I said nuggets, I said nuggets. I told you guys it would be so. What is the word? Not buffering. Overloading. Yeah. I could see the tension